Hello and welcome to another beehiiv integration guide. In today's video, I'm going to cover how to integrate your beehiiv publication with a no-code integration tool called Pipedream. If you haven't heard of Pipedream, I recommend you head over to pipedream.com and create an account. Check out what they have to offer. They provide integration services to connect different types of platforms, very similar to Zapier. It's a lot more affordable than Zapier. And we're going to go through how you can actually connect your beehiiv account to their platform and specifically connect a third-party form to your beehiiv publication using Pipedream would be more accurate. So the first step is to, much like our other integration guides, if you've seen any of those, is to go to integrations. We're going to go to the screen where you can set up API keys. Just as a heads up, you have to be on our Grow plan or above to access the API as of the recording of this video in late September of 2022. You're going to create a API key between your account, and so I just named mine Pipedream and the name of my publication I'm testing with, the Turn, and that'll give you a unique code. You're going to come over here to Pipedream and you're going to click on the Accounts button. You're going to click on Connect an App and type in beehiiv. And once you do that, it's going to ask for your API key. You can name it, and that'll be the first step. The second step is to get your source where you're trying to take and collect the subscribers from. In this case, I made a test account with Jotform, connected the Jotform account with the API, and so we're ready to go. So the actual process of moving a subscriber from, for example, this test form into your beehiiv account is going to work through Pipedream using what it calls workflows. So if I go into here and if I just click into it, I can see what this integration is made up of. So the first step is going to be to create the trigger, which is going to be when a user signs up. So in this case, we're using the Jotform account. The trigger is going to be a form when the new submission comes through the Jotform, and it's going to show us that data that comes out. This is very similar looking to what comes through in Zapier. Now, the only difference is that with Pipedream, we actually have to go through an extra step if you have multiple publications, and possibly if you have only one publication. I'm not 100% sure if you can skip this step if you only have one, but I think for safety and for longevity, if you plan to launch multiple publications, this is probably a great step to go through. So the first is going to be to go through and create a event for this list all publications activity. So that's going to basically go to beehiiv, and it's going to use your API key to pull all of the publication IDs and the names for all of your publications if you have more than one. If you only have one, it'll show up right here as the first one. So that's the first step. And then once you have that publication ID, you can go to configure here. And this is where you would say, okay, set up the beehiiv account. The email is going to come from the form data. And in this case, it's this right here. So we're going to select that, and it's going to fill this in dynamically. So we're going to say select path, and that is already filled there. We went through the previous step so that we would have our publication IDs, so you can see these are popping up and they're populating this list. So we want to select the correct publication that we want to use. The next one, this allows us to reactivate an existing user if they've unsubscribed or if they have been deleted from your account or whatever. So in this case, I'm going to say true, but generally this should be false because unless the user, that the user is resubscribing, willfully, you obviously don't want to resubscribe an unsubscribed user. So from there, the next one is going to be to send the welcome email. You select true or false. True if you want them to receive your welcome email if it's set up, and false if you just want to add them to the database. And then this UTM source field, if you have that field being pulled over from your form, you can map that to the UTM source here. So in this case, in my jot form, I have a hidden field called UTM source that is pulling from a query parameter in the URL if a UTM source query parameter is available. In this case it was, and it was sept 2022. So I'm pulling that in there. And then once I test and deploy, then you'll see the user show up in your audience. I think that after I ran this test, I deleted my test users. So we can actually run this real quick. So let's test it. It's going to pull from that old data. It should work. Yep, successfully created a new subscriber. So now if I go over here, so this is that user. Sept 2020 is the source, and we've successfully added the user. So once you can verify that that has been successfully integrated, you can click deploy, and your workflow will be live. This means that now any user who comes through this test form, if I did, EJ plus, just to make it unique, video at beehiiv.com. If I submit this, thank you, the workflow is going to run. And if I go over here to subscribers, it's been added to my account. Because I didn't have a UTM parameter in the URL, there's no source. But if I did it again with UTM parameter, it would be there. You can see I just integrated a jot form with my beehiiv publication. I could use this for collecting signups for a whole host of things. If I was creating an event and I was hosting an in-person event, I could use this connection to pipe signups of that event to my newsletter. The possibilities are pretty endless. So thank you so much. I hope this is really valuable. Can't wait to see what you create with this, and best of luck. Have a great day.